guys, welcome to our channel, Quiet Creator with Meek
and Mees.
So we've been here in Korea for about a month, and we thought it would be a good idea to do a video about 5 things we were super stressed about before coming here, but turned out to be no big deal. These are things like how to ride the subway, how to get a SIM card for our phones,
T-money card.
Yeah, T-money cards, and how to find our way through the city with Google Maps, and how to get money like from an ATM and stuff like that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is T-money.
And the T-money cards. So you can actually purchase them at the airport once you get there. Any of the convenience shops should have them. I think we went to the CU. Yeah, we went to the CU in the airport. The T-money cards do cost a bit more at the airport, about 8,000 won, but you're more likely to run into somebody that might be English speaking, so they might have a bit more information about the T-money cards. But you can get them at convenience shops outside of the airport, and they will be cheaper. I think they're like 3,000 won. It just depends on the design that you want. It doesn't really matter because you're just going to tap it. But you can get the money back.
I've heard that you can get a refund on the deposit that you get on your card, that you put on your card. I haven't done it yet, obviously, because we're still here. Yeah. But I have seen in the subways, I have seen the machines, the like little kiosks, and it says deposit, refund. So, I mean, we could get back to you on that. But I have read that is a thing. The reason we chose to get it at the airport was because we got there pretty late. We got there around 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was almost midnight by the time we found the CU. Do you remember?
Yeah. And we didn't really have an option on what card we chose. So ours was kind of pricey. We had to put an $8,000 one deposit on ours, but he kind of just grabbed like whatever card was next to him, and so that's why ours seems kind of pricey, which is about $8. But yeah, you can choose to get one with like little designs on it. Those are obviously going to cost more.
Yeah, just depends on your preference. A good amount to put on there. If you're gonna ride the subway right after getting out of the airport, I mean, you can put 5,000 won on there. I think that's about how much it charges you to get there. We put 20, and it lasted us about a week.
Yeah, like a week and a half. It really just depends on how often you use the subway and where you're going, honestly.
Yeah.
So it really just depends.
But when you are tapping your card at the subway, it'll tell you the amount that it's charging you, and it'll actually let you know the amount that's left on your card if you take a couple extra seconds to look. And then you can also fill up your card at the kiosks in the subway. I think personally that's much easier because you can also fill them up, I've been told, at the convenience shops. But I just think the kiosks are a little bit easier in my opinion. There are like English buttons that you can press on at the bottom of the screen if you don't know how to read Hangul, which I don't at all. But those take cash only, but super easy to use, and it'll let you know the amount that's on your card before and then afterwards. So that's super helpful.
Yeah.
And then what's next? The subway, which we kind of touched upon already. I was so scared. I think you were too, though.
Yeah, we were like scared. So super stressed because where we're from, there's not really a subway system, like an underground subway system. Yeah. So we were super worried about like how to get on, how to get off. Are there going to be like directions? Is it going to be super easy to use because we're not used to that.
Yeah, like what if we miss our stop? Like what if we don't hear it? What if we're just not paying attention? But if you miss your stop, get off on the next one. You can either go up and across or just cut your way over. It's super easy. It's like the easiest thing ever. I would rather ride the subway sometimes than drive my car, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I'm spoiled. I like somebody else driving me somewhere. But I don't like how crowded it is sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's much more densely populated here than it is back home. Like, I don't know, so much more. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a culture shock to us, but we already knew that coming in. It's just a little, I don't know, it's a little intimidating, really.
I mean, if you don't like crowds, then maybe kind of think about the time that you're gonna ride the subway, because there's obviously always gonna be someone riding it, but if you kind of pick the off-peak hours, then I mean, obviously if you try to miss rush hour, it's not gonna be as crowded, but just know, like, if you happen to hit rush hour by accident, it is going to be super packed to the point where sometimes you might not even be able to get on when you want to. You might have to wait for the other train, which isn't that bad because they run like every 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, not really that long.
Yeah, like if you really do have somewhere that you need to go, like you have an appointment that you need to make, then maybe kind of account for the time, because it does get super packed.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's really super easy to use. There are signs in English, and when you're on the subway, it'll tell you the stops in Korean, English, Chinese, and even Japanese, depending on where you're going. If you're going to like places like Hongdae and Myeongdong, it's gonna have all those languages, all the stops in those languages. But yeah, it's super easy. There's English signs everywhere, so if you're coming to Korea and you're worried about the subway, don't even worry about it. It's super easy to use.
Yeah, it's as amazing as everybody says it is. It really is. Yeah. I really like it.
And honestly, we have never had to ask anyone for help.
I mean, we've gotten a little turned around a couple times, but...
But it's super easy to find your way around.
Just read the signs. You'll be okay.
Yeah. Another thing that we were worried about was how to get around the city, obviously. Just like walking and stuff, and we found that Google Maps and Kakao Maps are the easiest way to find your way around. There is a problem with Google Maps. Sometimes it won't work at all, like the app itself won't work at all. We have also found that when we try to find walking directions on Google Maps, it'll say that it doesn't, like, it can't find it for some reason. It just won't give it to
us.
If you're outside and you have, you know, good connection, you have good Wi-Fi, all that stuff, it just won't find it at all. It'll only tell you the subway, and it'll tell you to get onto the subway and then get off on the subway.
When you're really like 5 minutes away from the place that you need to go.
When you're like 2 blocks away. Yeah. So that is super frustrating sometimes, but other than that, Google Maps is super easy to use, and so we really only ride the subway. We haven't taken a taxi at all.
Or buses.
But Google Maps, when you want to map your route using the subway, it is super convenient because it'll tell you like where to get on, and if you have multiple stops on that train, you can like click the little button, and it'll drop down a list of all the stops that you'll go through while you're on that specific line. It'll show you like the line color, and it'll show you the number of that line too. So that's super convenient. Kakao Maps is super easy to use too. The only problem is that it is completely in Korean. So I can read Korean.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at it. I don't know every single word, so even though I can read it, I don't know what it means. But with the stops, it is super easy. So I always have Google Maps out and Kakao Maps out. So in case like my Google decides not to work, I do have Kakao as a backup to see like what stop I need to get on and what stop I need to get off and where I'm going to transfer and all that kinds of stuff. So be aware, if you do have Kakao and if you want to use Kakao Maps, it is completely in Korean. So if you don't know how to use or read Korean, maybe don't use it. Or you can always ask someone for directions, but since we're really shy, we're extreme introverts, I prefer to just be lost.
No, just kidding.
I prefer to just be lost and figure it out on my own than ask someone for help. But if you're totally fine with talking to strangers, don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
You'll have a way easier time here.
And people are really nice, even if they don't speak English, very well. They're gonna try their hardest to help you out, honestly.
People here are, I mean, obviously there are people who don't want to talk to you, which is fine, whatever.
Yeah,
There's
it's hit or miss wherever you go.
All over the world.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people try to be helpful, and they want to help you. Even if they don't speak English, they'll find a way to try to get you where you're trying to go. Another topic we wanted to hit was ATMs, obviously, because
ATMs.
I mean, people do have credit cards, but there are places that only take cash here, and we didn't know how much cash to take out before we left home, and we didn't want to be carrying around a bunch of cash to begin with, so we really just took out a certain amount of money from our banks, and then we exchanged it at the airport because the rates were better before we left home. But we were worried about, what if we run out of cash and we have no way of getting money out of the ATM? So I actually used Pinterest and the internet,
Pinterest
obviously.
has been super helpful for you, actually.
To find where to get money out from the ATM. And what we found was...
let's see, the 365 ATMs, if you see them. Any of the ATMs at the Shinhan Bank and the Woody Banks should work, but you need to check the ATM and make sure that it says global, because otherwise it might not accept your card if it's a foreign card. There are fees. It's about US dollars, about $3 for the charge.
Woody Bank, which is the only ones that we've used so far. It will charge you $3 to take money out, but I mean, you don't have to talk to anybody. They have the best rates,
and their ATMs are the best. I think they're amazing. I wish we had ATMs like that back home. I don't know, they're just pretty. They have all these buttons that I want to press. They talk to you. They I don't know.
And it is in English. It has English, Chinese, Japanese, a bunch of languages. So you don't really have to talk to anybody. You can do it all on your own, and it most likely is in the language that you need. So that's really helpful.
Next and last, SIM cards.
Yeah, we were super worried about SIM cards because we're before we even left, we had gone to our service provider and we were like, do you have an international package or deal or whatever? What can we do? And they did, but it was kind of expensive.
Yeah, in our opinion, it was ridiculous. Both of us have iPhones. I'm basically married to my iPhone, which is why we were like, we need Wi-Fi. We need to make sure that we have service. But the gal that we talked with at our service provider was like, oh, you guys have iPhones. You're totally fine if you're in locations with Wi-Fi, which most coffee shops offer free Wi-Fi here, which is amazing. If you can figure it out on the subway, you can get free Wi-Fi. We have free Wi-Fi here where we're staying, so we can just use FaceTime to call our family or our friends. It charges 20 cents.
Yeah, it's something so the chick that we were talking to before we even came here, she was like, your whole family and you have iPhones, which is basically the only people we talk to.
Yeah.
So she was like, you can use FaceTime or free calling through Wi-Fi. And she was like, if you don't have Wi-Fi and you want to be texting them, it's 20 cents a text, or it's 20 cents per minute or whatever if you have a phone call. But I was like, honestly, a lot of places here have free Wi-Fi. I did read before I left that there is a thing as a Wi-Fi egg. The article that I was reading said it was $8 a day, which kind of seems expensive to me because we're staying here for an extended amount of time. but I know that that is an option if
you're
any
just
of you are
looking for that,
planning
yeah.
to come here for like a week or whatever. That could be an option for you. But SIM cards, I did do a little bit of reading, and what I read that they have SIM cards for like 30, 60, 90 days. And it really just depends on like if you want to do, there's like a prepaid or a postpaid SIM card. There's ones where they just do like data, or ones that just do like calling or something like that. I don't know. I'm not that smart.
Just
and we actually tried to go see a service provider in Itaewon about it, and just to kind of get a little bit more information to see if maybe we needed it, because there are times when we'll be out on the street trying to find a place to trying to find a cafe or somewhere to eat or something like that, and we don't have Wi-Fi, and our service is just kind of really super slow, and it gets kind of frustrating. But I mean, in the end, we end up finding a place, but it's kind of frustrating because it'll be super slow. And so we actually try to go see someone about getting a SIM card, or getting more information to see if the SIM card is something that we actually do want. But he was just kind of like super vague, and we went to someone who spoke English. He was just kind of super vague, was just kind of like, oh, I don't want to help you.
Yeah, he was really dismissive. I don't know if it just wasn't his day, or we weren't his type of people.
Maybe we were just asking the wrong type of questions, or he was like, well, it's simple information that people already know. I don't know. But to me, it just kind of seemed like it wasn't anything that we really need at this point, because we do have Wi-Fi all the time.
But if that is something you decide to go with, he was helpful in the sense that he let us know that you will be needing your passport if you want to go with that. So that's like the only thing that was nice about what he said. I don't know.
Yeah. So those were 5 things we were super stressed about before we even got here, but they turned out to not be a big deal.
Yeah. So hopefully it's helpful. Maybe we confused you. Whatever we did, we hope we did something. I don't know.
Yeah, hope that was helpful. Let us know if there's anything else you want to know about Korea.
Anything. We're here.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments if there's anything else you want to know, if there's anything you guys want to see us do. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.